I agree with Robert Ory. Until they do the skip, we've seen this. Now, I ain't heard you mention nothing about playoff P. I mean, you was just hyping playoff P. Usually playoff P. Oh, other day he hit a shot. He backed it up in reverse. Oh, he backed all the way to the bench. Oh, just wheeling and dealing. I ain't see nothing.
Hello, YouTube world. Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. This is your first time to the channel. Please like, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell if you don't mind, so you can get the newest content and the bonus content we put out every day. You won't miss any content here. This is where you hear the real take on the NBA and sports in general. Now, let me just go ahead and say this while we're speaking on it. You know, this is a situation to me where I feel like the media not only owes the Clippers an apology so far about what the Clippers have done in the playoffs, but I feel like the Clippers are just basically making the media eat their words. You know, the media is, Stephen A. Smith and, the Shannon Sharps and the Nick Wrights and the naysayers about the Clippers. They're silencing their doubters. You know what I'm saying? I think what the Clippers have been able to do have been overly impressive. Last night's game, they're down by 24, 25 points. And, they get an electric, they get an electrical, ecstatic type gameplay from one of their bench players and Terrence Mann. I mean, this dude right here comes out and shows out on national TV, big game, and he ends up with 39 points. And that just goes to show the type of depth the Clippers have. The Clippers bench, the Clippers players, that team, they are a different team than what they were last year. What they were last year in the bubble is nothing like what they are this year. And I tell you what, if they found some type of way to get Kawhi Leonard back, I think they would win the championship. I think they can rally against the Suns possibly, especially if Chris Paul is out. But I'm not sure if they can win it all unless they play a team other than Brooklyn. Now, the way this is shaping up, we got to see how tonight turns out, because it's a game 7 with Brooklyn and the Bucks. But it would be really, really tough if Brooklyn doesn't get out of tonight's game. It would be really hard for me to see the Clippers not being able to win it all with the team that they have. It would be really, really great to see. I would be anticipated by it. It would be great to see if the Clippers can, get past the Suns and make it to the finals. That would be awesome. That'd be a great, feature for the Clippers as a team, as an organization, and we'll just have to see how it goes. But I mean, it's just mind-boggling to even think that the Clippers can get to the finals, man. It's unreal. I'm saying I'm almost at a loss of words, just thinking about it. But of course, you don't want to get too far ahead. You got to play the Phoenix Suns. The Suns are the team that's up next. They're the team that's, standing in your way to getting to your ultimate destination, which is the NBA Finals. And like I said, I would love to see Kawhi Leonard come back and add to this nucleus that they have of great talent, because I think that would just overly solidify them. And, of course, I actually picked, after the Lakers had, especially, when the Lakers had went down, I had already picked the Clippers to, being the team. I could see them going to the finals, especially them and the Nets. I thought that'd be a great matchup, especially if everybody was healthy. But everybody's not healthy, so it would be really tough. And it looks like the Nets are struggling to get there, and we'll see what the Clippers do. But like I said, as far as the media, what else can really be said about this team? This team has been down 0-2 in the first and second round, 2 different series, and they found a way to come back and win both of them. Nobody thought they were able to do it. Nobody thought they was on that level. Nobody thought they were mentally tough enough. Nobody thought this team was good enough to get to that next level. Nobody thought this team was good enough to get to a conference finals, in which they never did in 50 plus years, I think, of them being a franchise, and they found a way to get to it this time. So the Clippers did something, that's out of their element, but it's really, really, awesome that what they've been able to do so far as a team, as a unit, and just to play from behind like that. It's being down 0-2 in 2 different series and finding a way to come back and survive and be the last man standing in those series is really impressive, overly impressive, So I think if this team is whole and they're together and they're healthy, man, I think this team can win a couple of championships the way they look. Especially with the backup they have coming off the bench with the Terrence Manns and all this other stuff. I mean, Terrence Mann looked really good last night. I don't know how much he can continue playing like that, but at the same time, it's really, really mind-boggling to see how good this team really is, and how far now you think the team can go just by what you've seen. So like I said, the crew is playing good. Paul George is playing good. He started off slow last night in last night's game. And I tell you what, I got to be honest, if it wasn't for Terrence Mann, I don't think they win this game. I mean, even though Paul George came alive in the second half, but if it wasn't for Terrence Mann, they wouldn't have won. Because, that when the Clippers went on like a 24-0 run, Terrence Mann had like all 24 of those points just about, or at least it seemed like he did. He damn near scored all those points for the Clippers. He kept hitting 3 after 3, shot after shot, driving to the basket, getting at Rudy Gobert. He just showed no fear. And when you have players like that who play fearless, it rubs off on other players. And, I got to give another shout out like I did in last night's video. Reggie Jackson has been, a revelation. Reggie Jackson's been awesome pretty much this whole playoffs. He's pretty much been their third guy, for the most part. A little bit of Marcus Morris mixed in there too, but Reggie Jackson's been more consistent, and he's been more of the guy they go to down the stretch to close these last couple games. Without Kawhi being there. Paul George plays good, but I think Reggie Jackson might be their closer, as far as right now, because he hits timely shots when you need them, and, him driving to the basket, playing his game. Reggie is awesome. Reggie is a great player. I can't say he's a great player, but he's a really, really good player. And, how he's playing in these playoffs, he looks like a great player in these playoffs, So, hey, as long as you play, with a great spirit, and as long as you play at a high level in the playoffs, that's all that matters, because that's when everybody's watching you. And I think that's what the Clippers are doing. They're showing out, and they really, showing how impressive they are, as a team, as a unit. And Ty Lue is really, really coaching this team really well, So it's one of those situations where, it could be a Cinderella story type thing, but at the same time, I just think if this team stays together and they can find a way to stay healthy, I think they can win a couple of championships. I really do, because if you look at their depth and how they're built to win now. And like I said, if they found a way to get Kawhi back, if he can, hopefully it's just a minor knee strain and he can come back, I think they can make a run at the championship this year. Depending on, health and who they play and, all that stuff. And, depending on whether they get past Phoenix. But like I said, the media is going to really have to, I really would love to see this team get to the finals, because it's like I really want to hear what the media would have to say then. Stephen A. Smith has been on record talking about this team and saying a lot of things about them, and Kawhi Leonard and all these things. But every time they said something about this team in this postseason, the Clippers have answered the bell every time. The Clippers have answered the call every time. Anytime, any one of them, Nick Wright, any one of them has said anything about the Clippers always come back and surprise everybody. They're down 0-2, and by the end of the weekend, going into the next week, it's tied 2-2. And it's like the Clippers just find ways to win. And that's what makes championship DNA. That's what makes championship teams. That's what allows teams to be at their best and, and play their best. You know what I'm saying? When you went through a struggle the way the Clippers have and found ways out of it, found ways through adversity and made you a stronger team on the inside and as a collective group. And that's what the Clippers are feeding off of. And that's what they're doing. They're playing at a level and they're playing with the momentum and the edge that a lot of people didn't think that they had, but now they're playing where they're supposed to, and hopefully no more injuries, happen with this team, because I think, they're playing really good, and I really like what I'm seeing out the Clippers, man. And it's really, really, awesome to see, how they're coming together and how Ty Lue has this group playing at this elite level. But I just want them to keep feeding off the energy of, the naysayers and everything like that, because I think that's what's driving them. So to be in some type of way, I hope Stephen A. Smith and all of them keep saying negative things about the Clippers, because I feel like that's what's fueling them. They're taking that and fueling themselves to play on another level. And I think that sometimes is what teams need, Let the naysayers say what they want to say, speak on what they want to speak on. You just let it drive you and take you all the way to the promised land. And that's exactly what the Clippers are doing. And like I tell you, if they get past Phoenix, I don't know how bad, like I said, Kawhi's knee is, but if he couldn't play in the Phoenix series, if it's just a knee strain, if that's all it is, I think Kawhi definitely finds a way to play in the finals. I mean, because it's just, that would have been 2-3+ weeks of rest. So, I mean, maybe if it's not that bad, maybe they can find themselves in the finals and playing for a championship, like I said. So, but we'll see how that goes. Hopefully they stay on this high that they're on right now and just keep it rolling, But as for the media, man, like I said, keep speaking negative about the team. Keep talking the way you're talking, because it's only fueling them to go to the next level. And that's what they're doing. And tomorrow, they're playing the Suns at 3:30. First game, Chris Paul's not going to be there, I don't think. Maybe the first 2 games, Chris Paul won't be there. But it's going to really be tough. Even though without Chris Paul, because the Suns are a really good team, and Devin Booker, definitely has something against Paul George. So, I mean, I think Devin Booker is actually looking at his chops at this series right here, because if Devin Booker can have a couple 40-point games, that's exactly what he's thinking in this series, because he wants to definitely shut Paul George down and definitely get in Paul George's head. So I'm going to need Paul George to stay, on course. Don't do nothing stupid. Don't try to, go back and forth with Devin Booker and get yourself technicals and, get out of your game, because you're in a good rhythm right now. You know what I'm saying? Paul George is in a really good rhythm. So we need him to continue that. We don't need no distractions. But even still, like I said, Phoenix is going to be a tough out, because they have nobody for DeAndre Ayton. Like no team does. No team has anybody for DeAndre Ayton. I mean, the guy, the more and more he plays, the better and better he gets. And, Cameron Payne, their backup point guard, he's good enough to be a starting point guard in the league. So, I mean, don't think it's going to be a walk in the park, because it's not. But we'll have to see how, the Clippers come out and respond and, play after, just playing that big game 7 the other night. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully fatigue is not going to wear on the Clippers, because, man, I don't want the Clippers to go down 0-2 for a third time. It's like asking way too much out of a team energy wise to, keep coming back. So, at least got to get a game in Phoenix, at least one, and, go from there and see how it goes. But game 1 is tomorrow. We'll see how that pans out. And, hey, like I said, we'll see how much less and less the media keeps talking, the more and more the Clippers pile up more wins and get to their ultimate destination. But that's my take on the situation. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and let's talk about it, engage in it. And you know what I always say, Cali out.